So we're going to go ahead and get started with our program. My name is Tawana, and I am the administrator of the Adult Education and Literacy Grants here at Parkland College. And I am joined by the team of literacy staff members, of whom I'm sure you all know. And so we are very, very excited to have you here with us today. First off, I want to say Happy Veterans Day to any veterans we have and families of veterans. I'm a proud daughter of an Air Force vet and a proud wife of an Army vet. So Veterans Day is very important in our household. So we definitely want to take time to honor our veterans that are with us today. So thank you for your service. Thank your family for their service, because it is a family that commits to that. We are here to recognize our volunteer tutors and the accomplishments that we've had over this year. I first personally want to thank you. From an administrator's perspective, I see numbers. So compliance is one of my strong areas. I'm always looking at the numbers and the money. And these type of events really help me to realize and to remember it's not about numbers. It's about people and lives and families that we are impacting. And so we could not do that without you, the service that you give. So we want to thank you, each of you, for the service that you provide on behalf of the literacy learners in Parkland's district. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Each year, the Secretary of State selects 10 tutors to recognize for outstanding contributions to literacy. This year, he recognized Dar Kuglich and Jenny Reuter. Considering there are over 5,000 tutors in programs like ours all over the state of Illinois, we are very proud of Dar and Jenny that they made the cut. Congratulations again to both of you. So one of the things that the team asked me to talk about are the statistics. We have, again, that's what I do, so I definitely am looking for my sheet. Bobby Joe, would you mind passing me that folder back there? So one of the things that we have, with the Secretary of State funding, we have Parkland has to write a grant, and so these are grant funds that we use to provide services to adult education and literacy. So this particular funding stream that we use to support the work that you do is with the Secretary of State Volunteer Literacy Grant. Thank you, Bobby Joe. We also have a Secretary of State Family Literacy. I'm trying to mix those together. A family literacy grant through the Secretary of State's office. And then they have a third component, which is the workplace literacy grant. And so giving you a little bit of perspective of when I started in adult education back in 1993, I was not the administrator at that time, but I've been with the program since then. I've always known Project READ and the services that Project READ tutors provide to our community. I was more on the adult education side as a teacher and an advisor to students. And when we come across learners in our program that really don't do well in classroom settings, I mean, we put one teacher, 20, 25 learners, and we get, a lot of our learners get lost in those type of learning situations. They don't really get the individual attention that they need. And we always say in adult education that our learners talk with their feet. If it's something that they're engaged in and it's not meaningful, it's not helping them, they'll just leave. And we won't know why. And so I've always known how important Project READ was in helping us to really meet the needs of our adult learners. So I know we have learner tutors in our classrooms to help teachers provide instruction. We also have tutors working one-to-one in community sites throughout the district, also in small group work. But so I wasn't really the administrator, really can't speak much to like numbers and all, but I do remember back in those days we had like 300 learners. We used to have goals of serving 300 learners a year in Parkland's district with the services. So every year with the Secretary of State funding, we have to tell them, how many learners are we going to serve this year? How many tutors are we going to train? How many tutors are actually going to provide tutoring service this year? So this is, again, my world of numbers. But the one thing I remember is having more learners back in those days. So I'm going to give you a little overview of this past grant year that ended in June. Our grant from the Secretary of State runs July 1st through June 30th. So every year we set new goals. Every year we have to report on our outcomes. So the team thought it would be helpful, that you would appreciate hearing a little bit about that. So I'm going to go through the numbers with you here. I can read them. Let's see here. Okay, so our goal in fiscal year 23, we set a goal of serving 180 learners. Bobby Jo's my data person. She's giving me you're right. 180 learners was our goal in serving on the volunteer grant this year. And with your help, we surpassed that goal. We actually provided literacy services to 224 learners in fiscal year 23. Definitely give yourself a round of applause for that. So who are our learners in numbers? Most of our learners are English as a second language learners. From fiscal year 23, we had 137 ESL learners. We had 43 adult basic education learners. So these would be learners that are reading below the 9th grade reading level. And most of our adult basic education learners came to the program for help with math instruction. So most of our ABE learners are being tutored in math. So the bulk of who we serve are ESL, English as a second language learners. So what do our learners look like? Who are our learners? And so because we are a grant-funded program, we track everything, so I can tell you that. So our learners identify as African, Black, or African American. There were 90 of that 224. 90 identified as African, Black, or African American. 2 identified as Arab American, Middle Eastern, or Northern African. 32 identified as Asian or Asian American. 63 identified as Hispanic, Latinx, Chicano, or Chicana. 25 identified as white, European American. And 8 did not identify, left that particular item on their intake materials blank, and 4 declined not to state that. And again, it's just to give the Secretary of State's office a profile of how those dollars that they feed into our district, how those dollars are being spent when we're looking at diversity, equity, and inclusion. So this is just a little overview of the learners that we did serve. The average age of our learner, 41 years old in fiscal year 23. Outcomes. And so again, because we're very proud of being able to receive these funds, and it's because of the outcomes, the time you spend with tutors, with your learners. 46% of our learners who speak English as a second language took a post-test. And from a tutoring perspective, one of our learning outcomes is students are pre-tested at intake, and we have to show progress. And the way the state measures progress is a post-test after a certain number of instructional hours. So 46% of our English language learners post-tested. 37% of our ABE, adult basic education learners, took a post-test. 12.5% of our English language learners engaged in a new English language behavior. And if you're you're working with our coordinators, and so some of your data entry forms, some of the training and reminders they send you talk about some of those behaviors that we are hoping to see that will show the state, again, how we're using those funds and how it's impacting the lives of the learners, if that impact won't show in a level gain, because that's often the case with some of the students that we work with. 3% of our learners, our adult basic education learners, showed measurable improvement in reading comprehension. So we did have a significant, a little portion of the ABE learners that were receiving reading instruction. 7% of our ABE math learners improved their math comprehension. And 34 learners have met a library outcome. And again, this funding source is through the Illinois State Library. So we are very pleased to work within our partners, our library partners within the entire college district to provide this service to the community. The total number of tutoring hours provided to all learners was 2,809.5 in fiscal year 23. We had I'm going to read this one. Our goal on the grants for the number of tutors versus actual number of tutors. Okay, so we had a tutor goal of 80. So every year we have to recruit a certain number of volunteers, train them as tutors. And we actually trained 63 in fiscal year 23, so just shy of our goal of 80 tutors. Budget, this is what I do. So we received roughly, for the adult volunteer literacy grant, roughly about $85,000 in funding is what comes to Parkland College for these services. And that funding is very restricted. We can spend it on the staff members. We put a little bit of it into supplies, travel, very restricted on what we can buy with the supplies. We have to give a list of what we intend to use those funds for. So most of our money, I would say about 95% of the money we receive on the adult volunteer literacy grant is in staff salaries. And just a little bit in the supplies and the travel line. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of our goals because there's a whole page here. So I'm just going to mention a couple of the goals that we have here. From the learner perspective, our goal in the grants, the number of learners for fiscal year 24. So now we're into the current year. And it's helpful for you to know if you're currently on an assignment. And again, we really did well in the previous fiscal year, and we know with the good work that we have among our volunteers and the support you receive from our staff members that we will continue to excel in our performance here at Parkland. So we have a learner goal of serving 170 learners this year. And we are at the end of quarter one, which ended September 30th. We have 102 learners, so we're pretty far into that goal already in the first quarter, which is pretty good. Our goal on the grant for the number of tutors in fiscal year 24. So we have, again, a goal of recruiting or 85 tutors. And so if you're currently a tutor, if you were a tutor in fiscal year 23 and you continue tutoring in fiscal year 24, then you count in that number. So we don't have to recruit 85 new tutors. We just have to have 85 tutors. So at the end of quarter one, we had 35 tutors. So we have a little work to do in that particular area. And then I'll just give you an overview of some of the other outcomes because they're very similar to what we had last year. So outcome number one, we have 75% of our English language learners. 40 hours of instruction is one of our benchmarks in adult education. And so we are looking for readiness for evaluation or are leaving the program will measurably improve their comprehension or production of the English language by making a 5-point gain. We're getting real specific here. So pretty much when you are with learners and you're giving them that pretest and using that to inform what you're providing, at the end of 40 hours when we're testing them again, we're looking for gains. So that's what that particular one speaks to. But also we have a goal of helping learners to have a meaningful meaningful new English language behavior, such as attending a meaningful parent-teacher conference, acquiring new information by participating in an English language Zoom meeting or workshop, filling out a job application. So all of those things that you know when you're working with your tutor, your learner, I keep saying tutor, with your learner, jot those down, share those with the team members, share those with your coordinators, because that's the type of data we need in order to demonstrate our success on these particular goals. For our ABE learners, we have another goal, adult basic education learners, of increasing their reading comprehension as well. Reading to level appropriate text and completing activities, requiring the use of these knowledge and skills. Math, we have for learners that receive at least 20 hours of math, that they will improve their math comprehension, computation, or application skills. And then we also have a goal of successfully completing a life skill goal, such as a household budget for our math learners. So those are also ways to help. We set our own goals within the state Secretary of State, which is very helpful because you can, in adult education, it's a little bit different. It's strictly test scores and gains, and it doesn't really matter the quality of what you're providing. It's if it can't be quantified, it doesn't necessarily count. But on the literacy side, it does, so we're very grateful for that. And then the library. We have a goal of helping more of our community members to become familiar with their local library, bringing their families to the library. And then we have our parent lab for fiscal year 23. Our parent family learning lab is a collaboration with in fiscal year 23, it was with the Champaign School District and with the Douglas Branch Library, Champaign Public Library, their Douglas Branch office. This year, Champaign School District remains a partner, but their role is funneling students to the lab, helping us to recruit families from the school district into the lab. We have a new partner this year. We're working with the Martin Center, so we're very excited. We provide Parent Family Learning Lab, all these acronyms in my head, on Tuesday and Thursday evenings from... Thank you. I'm looking at Trey. Trey's the coordinator back there, so thank you. So, and I know we have families coming there. So this is a new grant. I would say about 4 or 5 years at Parkland is when we started with the family literacy component. And the state always says we have our support meetings, and family literacy is hard. There are 5 components of that family literacy. So adult volunteer literacy is one of the 5 components. But there are outcomes for parent activities, parent and child together activities. Carolyn can speak to this particular piece as well. So from fiscal year 23, let me give you some data from the parent lab. We had a goal of serving 20 adult learners at the parent lab, and we actually served 20 adult learners at the parent lab. So we had 100% of our goal met there. Children, we had a goal of serving 25 children at the parent lab, and we served 30. So we surpassed our goal there. ESL learners, we had a goal of serving, most of our learners all of our learners at the parent lab in fiscal year 23 were ESL learners. We had no ABE learners in our group. The average age of our learners at the parent lab, adult age, is 35. We provided 273.75 hours of adult tutoring at the parent lab, 39.5 hours of parenting activities at the lab, 32 hours of parent and child together activities, or PACT activities. Child education, 9,900 hours of child education. And some of that is because the children in school, if they're in school, those count towards those child education hours. We do have children that are not in school, though, but that's why that number is so high. And then library visits. We had 5 hours of documented library visits with the parent lab last year. Okay, eyes are glazing over. We're going to end the data overview. But it just goes to show you, and again, it's always very humbling for me because this is what I do every day. And so it's very, very, very helpful for me to really see what this really means, meet the people behind these numbers. So I'm very grateful, and I really do extend to each of you a warm thank you for all the work that you do with either our adult volunteer literacy or our parent family learning lab. So I'm going to give you a round of applause. So we would now like to recognize our tutors for the many hours they have devoted to Project READ. Okay, if I call your name, if you could please stand. We have a bronze level recognition, and these are for tutors with 20 to 50 hours of tutoring. I'm going to go down the list. If you are here, just stand and we'll give you a round of applause when I get through the end of that list. So we got Anna Merritt, Penny Lopez, Bob Kirby, Rob Klein, Linda Weber, Carolyn Wonderland, Ann Craig, Mary Fairfield, Kath Brinkman, Ann Mankin, Sana Sabuwala, Beth Clayton, Joe Kibbe, William Jones, Sarah Abbott, Melissa Caldwell, Christy Roskowski, Abik Bortaker, Kirsten Osborne, Dave Mize, Joanne Murray, and Marcia DeMarco. Let's give that group a round of applause. We have a silver level recognition, and these are for tutors that provided 54 to 89 hours of tutoring. And they are, again, if you're here, stand, Karen Jones, Darlene Kuglich, Sandy Foltz, Tony Schaefer, Tom England, Julie Clark, Ann Benefield, Carolyn Vance, Beth Allender, Mary Lee Milton, and Ruth Kumala. Give that group a round of applause. And our gold level recognition, we have 4 tutors who have volunteered for over 100 hours, and we're going to ask you to stand as well. Barbara Tassler at 142 hours. Jenny Reuter had 160 hours. Diane Tarando, 172 hours. And Kathy Salika, 294 hours. Thank you. We'd also like to recognize a few volunteers for their exceptional contributions to our program. If you are here today, please come to get your certificate. The Tenacious Tutor Award is presented to Christy Roskowski. This is for her endless energy in tutoring a large group of ESL learners at the Salvation Army Church. The group is particularly challenging because beginner, intermediate, and advanced students are all in the same class. Christy. Come up, I have a certificate for you. The Tireless Tutor Award is presented to Kathy Salika for devoting nearly 300 hours of her time to tutoring math. She swears she loves math that much. The People's Choice Award is presented to Karen Jones for her warm and engaging nature that draws in ESL learners at the Champaign Public Library. There's always laughter coming from her table, and her learners have become genuine friends. She was not able, well, we don't know for sure, is she here today? Nope. Okay, but let's all give Karen a round of applause. The I Can Take One More award is presented to Diane Tarando for always saying yes when we ask if she has room for one more learner. She's been with Project Read for many years and has helped countless people. Diane. Okay. Each year we have the Outstanding Volunteer Service Award. We give the Outstanding Volunteer Service Award to a tutor who goes above and beyond for Project Read. In 2023, we're honored to present this award to Carolyn Vance. Carolyn joined Project Read in 2021 and immediately found a soft spot for the learners at the Parent Family Learning Lab. In fact, she's still there, but now she volunteers on both Tuesday and Thursday nights. Carolyn has embraced the challenge of teaching both beginner and intermediate ESL learners in one large group. She's also quietly mentored some of our newest tutors. Luckily, Carolyn does dip her toe into the AVL pool as well. She's always game when we need a last-minute sub and frequently attends our social events. Carolyn's dedication to immigrants even extends beyond Project Read. She also devotes her time to the Champaign-Urbana Immigration Forum, which is a group that advocates for the rights of immigrants in our community. For these reasons, we wanted to recognize Carolyn today for her outstanding service to Project Read. Carolyn? The plaque reads, Project Read Outstanding Service Award presented to Carolyn Vance in gratitude for outstanding service and dedication, November 2023. Carolyn, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Honestly, I don't know who gets more out of it, the students or me. I really enjoy teaching my students, and they're just a joy to work with, and I wish you could all experience them. They're wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. We would also like to recognize our former learner, Mon Zhang, who volunteered at the Champaign Public Library as our volunteer greeter. Round of applause there. Thank you. Currently, Tao Wen is following in Mon's footsteps and volunteers on Fridays at our tutoring site in the Champaign Library. Thank you, Tao, for all your help. Finally, Bob Kirby and Ann Craig also have past students who assist them in helping the Congolese community. Classroom helpers speak French and facilitate translation in Bob's beginner group. Today, we thank 2023 helpers, Patty Kaminga, Jose Pakuta, Gabriel Mboyo, Nadij Lumbo, Noel Nutamba. They've all first attended Bob Kirby's class at First Presbyterian to improve their English. Now they give back to their community by translating for people and assisting Bob's other learners on Sundays. So let's give that group a round of applause, please. All right, now we are going to hear from some of our learners. So I'm going to call our learners up one at a time, and they're going to share with you their stories. Our first learner is Jasmine Fernandez.
Thank you, everyone, and good morning. I would like to share a little bit of part of my story. I started my English classes in Project Read in 2022. I have always enjoyed visiting new places. I enjoy traveling across my beautiful country, Mexico, but I never had the chance to go abroad. Almost 2 years ago, my husband received an offer to move to the US. We were so happy about that amazing opportunity, and we immediately started making plans. But after a week, I felt afraid. My thoughts were on a new language, new people, different weather, no relatives over there, etc. I said to my husband that probably it was not the most brilliant idea, and I declined the invitation. All family members encouraged us to do it, and we felt brave enough to do it. And now we are here in Champaign-Urbana. During my school days, I started to learn English, but not in a formal way. I only took a few courses because in my city, we never use it. I knew some words, but not really have to make a complete sentence or even have a real conversation. So, For that reason, when I arrived in the US, I used to spend a lot of time in my hotel room, and that is not a healthy way to live. One day, I met a very kind and intelligent woman, my friend Belinda, and she was always willing to help me. She invited me to attend different events at the New American Welcome Center, and she was willing to pick me up from home at least once per week. But after 4 months, I was invited to be part of the New American Welcome Center as a community navigator, and I accepted immediately without the idea what is happening, okay? I started to feel uncomfortable with the fact that Belinda had to pick me up at least once per week. So I decided to buy my bus pass, open my Google Maps, and go for it. I was afraid, but was the only option for me. Do it or stay at home every day waiting for my husband. At the New American Welcome Center, I heard about Project Read, and I decided to attend the classes. So one day, I decided go directly to the library and ask for those classes. I was really surprised because everyone was so nice to me. Joanne gave me a test, and she accepted me. I met my teacher Dar a couple of classes later, and I joined an amazing international group. Dar every week prepared material for us, and we could read and chat. Even we formed a big group for reading comprehension with Penny's group. They provided the book Invisible Thread, and every week we discussed our opinions, new vocabulary, and pronunciation. Dad was very supportive, and she always encouraged us to talk despite the mistakes. After 6 months, I was hired at the New American Welcome Center as a part-time position as a community worker for the Latin community. I was so happy, but on the other hand, I was sad because that meant stopping my classes with Dar. I talked to Dar and Joanne to say thank you for everything, and Joanne asked me if I was interested in having another tutor during the evenings, and I said yes, of course, I would like to continue my path on English. I have to confess that at the beginning of the staff meetings at my work, it was hard to me to understand everything. Besides, I didn't feel safe participating or giving my opinion, but it was a good training to improve my English skills. Also, I accepted the position because I love the interaction with our community members and being able to help my community in several ways. For example, making translations or filling out applications. And sometimes I started attending dental appointments here and providing interpretation for the community members. Approximately 1 month after I stopped my classes, I received a surprising email from Joanne with amazing news. She said there was a student who was interested in being a new tutor, and the classes would be one-on-one. It was nice for me to hear that news, and immediately we arranged a meeting with Joanna, my new tutor. She is a nice person and always willing to help me. Since March 2023, we have been working together every week. She makes a plan according to my necessities. We practice how to present, how to make appointments by telephone, or reading, among other activities. She's helping me a lot to increase my confidence to speak. Every class is unique, and we have a lot of fun. In June 2023, Gloria, the ex-director of the New American Welcome Center, offered me a full-time position as Immigrant Family Coordinator. At the beginning, it was a little bit hard to accept, but I think it's a good opportunity to continue helping people besides my community. Now I continue working at the New American Welcome Center with an amazing team, and I am also continuing improving my English skills. I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to say thank you, Project Read, for your hard work in helping foreign people to reduce the language barriers, especially to Dar, Penny, Joanne, Julie, and of course, Joanna, my tutor. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jasmine, for sharing your story. Our next speaker will be Robert Gomez.
Hi, good morning. My name is Robert Gomez. I am from Venezuela. So I have been a Parkland student for 2 years. So today I am going to talk to you about my experience in this country. So I arrived in this country 4 years ago with my family. So sorry, I'm nervous. It's fine. It was not easy, but I was always focused that my family and I will be good. So moving to the new countries is a challenge. So but I did it. I lived in another state for 1 year. There I spoke English, Spanish every day, or all day. But in this moment, I want more. I needed more. I told to my wife in this moment about moving at another state, so North, Midwest. She didn't like that. One day I told myself, say the school, snow, summer, fall, spring, all together. For me, it's fine. Why not? I know my wife is not like the cold snow, but I say I need one more. So I found it. I will improve my English. So I need move another state for improve my English. So we moved to Champaign. It's a nice city, quiet, but in these cities I saw many opportunities for us. I started studying at Parkland College online and ESL program. I meet and share with the students from other countries, Congo, Mexico, China, Russia. So for me was beautiful moments. So share and try start conversation with the different cultures, the different personalities. So for me it was amazing. Additional, I share with the different teacher, Brandon, Sarah. This teacher was for me special for made my goal. It was a beautiful experience. Now I improve my conversation skill with a tutor in the project rate. I practice my English with Kat. Kat is my tutor. So we have English conversation every day or every week. It is a wonderful way to learn and practice together. We practice reading English books. We start simple history and gradually move to more challenging ones. The challenging for me, not from Kat. So it's fun to learn new words. She helped me understand who words are spoken and used in conversation. This helped me together expressing myself better. It's making a difference because in 2 years, because 2 years ago my English was no better, but now this practice every week is making a difference. Okay, in my life, my job, on the different situation every day. So this the different now. I work hard every day to improve my English. Now I have the new job. These people heal me. Kat, Tony, Julie, Joanne, everybody. So I appreciate that. I appreciate your time for all the students. Sometimes I know it's a challenge for you try understand, but I appreciate every moment you try we share with us. Okay. In my job, I did many interviews, and each one of them was better. Thanks to my determination, I got better. Now I got a better job. Now I am working in the banking area. My position is bilingual banker. Never, I imagine I made the goal in this country. So I asked the different person, teacher, people, okay, how many years I need for this speaking fluent English? Oh, you need 7, 8, 9 years. You go, wow, anyways, low year for speaking fluent, so this is history, is not for me. So I made the goal in short time. So I have a new job. I am working in the bank. There, I honestly with us, so with you, is every day I have many challenges, but I have always stayed positive, and nothing make me feel like I cannot do it. I have new responsibility. I need to answer phone calls, marketing, so recommending products another person in English. So processing transaction, opening different products in this company, for me it's never. So when I need more time for try to start conversation with any customer, any people. Now is my day, every day. So I must keep practice, but I feel like I am on now another level. Thank you for coming by. So thank you to my wife, and thank you also for the group of people working on this project. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry, for me it was very hard every day in this country. So now I am happy. Thank you. So my last job was very hard for me. So in this moment, I seen two options. I need to come back to my country or stay. So I feel that in this moment for that it's like was hard, but never say no. Yeah. Stay positive every single day. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Robert, for sharing your story. And then we also have Tutku Kundas.
Hello everyone. My name is Tutku. I am from Turkey and I moved to USA 10 months ago. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Parkland College, to all the tutors, and of course to Ginny. Everything I will try to say is my thoughts and my feelings, but I have these notes with me in case I have a hard time. I can make mistakes, but I didn't want help because I wanted to show my level. Before I moved to USA, I visited a few countries in Europe, but I haven't lived outside Turkey, and I was worried about live at a new country. Actually, I am still worried. Leaving your family, your friends, your habits, and your career are very scary. Frankly, my English is not well either, but my wife and Ginny helped me get used to living here in the USA. Ginny is not just a teacher for me, she is like a friend. I know I can call Ginny when I need help. Before I moved to USA, I heard a lot of things about American people, like everyone. For example, I heard American people are a distant person and they aren't helpful. I don't know, maybe it's correct, but Ginny and other tutors changed my opinions. They have tried to help every time, and they do this with love. This is giving trust to me. Almost 3 months ago, I was doing some research to buy a car, and I found a nice car. But the car was in Decatur and I couldn't go to Decatur because there was not transportation. Ginny heard this in a conversation and she said, we can together. Of course, I couldn't accept this offer because I didn't want to be a burden to Ginny. But she was serious and probably she didn't know what it meant for me. My English is improving with this project. I am gaining confidence about speaking English and I am having a good time. I didn't think I can give a speech like this 10 months ago. I know I still need to improve my English, but I have improved very much with Ginny's help. So I would like to thank Ginny again, to the other tutors who were always smiling and chatting, and of course to Parkland College for providing this opportunity. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Let's give another round of applause to all of our students, speakers, and learners. And let's give a round of applause to their tutors. We have one more award that we'd like to present, and this is our Partner Service Above and Beyond Award. We have many partners in the community that help Project Read. Today, we would like to recognize one in particular. The Above and Beyond Service Award is presented to Carol Inskeep. It's presented for her positive attitude, her boundless energy, and always asking, how can I help? Carol is our liaison at the Urbana Free Library and has co-hosted many events with us over the past year, including a Valentine's Day party, game night, and a welcoming week event in September. All were great successes and lots of fun. Thank you, Carol. Please come forward and have a certificate.
It's 100% my pleasure being part of this. That team on Monday morning, tutors and students, it's the meaning of our work. So thank you so much.
And I'd like to do one more thing if I could. So we would not be able to celebrate today if it wasn't for the coordinators that work on the Project Read team. You all know them well, and I count on them so much. They are just an amazing, amazing group. I cannot say that enough. So I'm going to have the coordinators and the Project Read team come forward. I'm going to call you in each way. So we have, you all know them, and they do deserve this rounding. So Julie Clark, Trey Irving Thomas. Julie Clark is Adult Volunteer Literacy. Trey Irving Thomas is our Parent Family Learning Lab Coordinator. Bobby Jo Dannenfeld keeps all the data. She's the one who keeps the program compliant with the state. Tony left Project Read. He thought he could sneak in here and not have to come up. Tony, we're so grateful that Tony is still with us, volunteering. So Tony Schaefer, and then Joanne Murray, our Adult Volunteer Literacy Coordinator as well. So join me in congratulating this team. So that concludes our ceremony. Thank you so much for coming. Please continue to enjoy refreshments. We'd like to get some photo ops. Thank you very much for coming. And thank you for all that you do.